Hi, it's Holly at Lifeline Yogis, and this is a request from Layla, and she's asked us to make a video for low back pain. There are so many people that suffer from low back pain, and there are many reasons for that: weight gain, pregnancy, stress, poor posture, or it might be even your job. So this is for all you guys out there, and I hope it helps. And we're going to start at the front of the mat. I've just turned around so you can see me, and we'll begin with a simple side stretch. Grounding down through your feet, letting the left arm just fall down by the side of the body. Raise the right arm above the head, and just stretching the torso over to the left side, and feeling a nice stretch in the right side of the body. And then slowly lowering that right arm back down. And then we'll do the same on the other side, so letting the right arm just fall down by the side, raise the left hand up to the sky, and then just stretching the torso over to the right side, feeling a nice stretch in the left side of the body. And then we'll slowly come back up to standing. And we'll do the same side one more time. Again, right arm raises above the head, moving the torso over to the left side. And then we'll slowly come back through center. And then again, raising the left arm above the head, right arm just falls down by the side of the body, and stretching over to the right side, feeling a stretch through the left side of our body. And then we'll come back to center. And then we're going to come into a wide leg stance, so bringing the feet about shoulders distance or double, whatever's comfortable for you. And we'll bring our hands to the hips, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, gazing up to the sky, feeling a nice stretch through our chest. Engaging through the thighs, lifting up through the kneecaps, or keeping the knees bent if you'd like to. And we'll take a long deep inhale, and as we exhale we're going to move our torso forward and placing both of our hands down onto the floor. Just making sure that you keep your spine nice and straight, gazing forward or letting the head be nice and heavy. And then we'll take a nice long inhale, and as we exhale we're going to lower our head all the way down, walking the hands a little bit further back towards the body, bringing our stance a little bit wider if you need to, coming into a wide leg forward fold. And we'll slowly walk our hands forward, gently raise our head, slowly coming out of the pose, and grounding down both palms underneath the shoulders. And keeping the left hand grounded down into the mat, on the next inhale we're going to raise the right arm up to the sky, gazing up to the right fingertips, taking a nice twist. And slowly lowering that right arm down, grounding down through the right hand, and we'll inhale, raise the left hand up to the sky, gazing up to the left fingertips if this is possible for you. And again, we'll slowly lower down that left hand back onto the mat, gazing forward, keeping the spine nice and long, engaging through our legs. And then we're going to keep the right foot into a 90-degree angle, really strengthening through the outer edge of that right foot. And we're going to move our whole body over to the left foot, and then we'll move that left foot 90 degrees over to the left side, so the foot is pointing straight to the mat. And then we're going to place that left hand inside of that left foot, and on the next inhale reaching that right hand all the way up to the sky, again gazing up to the right fingertips. And keeping both feet right where they are, we're going to slowly lift up our body, keeping the arms into a T position. We're going to take a long deep inhale, and as we exhale we're going to sink into that left leg, coming into Warrior Two. Gazing over the fingers and relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And bending into the front leg as much as you can, and lining up the back heel to the front heel, taking nice long breaths. And on the next inhale we're going to straighten that front leg and just scooting in the back foot a couple of inches if this feels good for you, pulling the hips towards the back of the mat, and we're going to lower down that left arm, coming into a triangle pose. So grounding down that left hand inside of the left foot, straightening the left leg if you can, or keeping a nice bend. Gazing up to the right fingertips. If your left hand can't reach the mat, you can place a block underneath, or place the hand just below the knee on the shin. And then we'll slowly come out of the pose, lifting up our torso. And then we'll turn that left foot 90 degrees to the right, bringing the hands to the hips, engaging through the legs, gazing up to the sky, breathing deeply into the chest, slightly drawing the shoulder blades together, shoulders away from the ears. And we'll take a long deep inhale, and as we exhale we're going to move the torso forward parallel to the mat, grounding down both palms just below the shoulders. Again, gazing forward or lowering the head, whatever feels good for you. We'll take a long deep inhale, and as we exhale, again walking the hands back towards our body, lowering the head, letting it become nice and heavy. Engaging through our legs, lifting up through the kneecaps, or keeping the knees bent if you need to. And on the next inhale, we'll walk the hands forward again directly under the shoulders, grounding down that left hand and raising that right hand up to the sky, gazing up to the right fingertips. And lowering that right arm down, grounding down through the right hand, and we'll inhale, raise the left hand up to the sky. And then slowly lowering that left hand down to the mat. Again, gazing forward, spine is nice and long. And keeping the left leg where it is, grounding down through the outer edge of the left foot. We're going to move our torso over to the right leg and rotating the right foot 90 degrees to the right, so the toes are pointing forward to the front of the mat. And we'll ground that right hand down inside of the right foot and raise the left hand up to the sky, gazing up to the left fingertips. And keeping the legs grounded down where they are, we'll inhale, lifting up our torso, bringing the arms out into a T position. And as we exhale, we're going to sink into that right leg, coming into Warrior Two. Bending into the right leg as much as you can, gazing forward to the fingertips, pressing through the outer edge of the back foot. And on the next inhale, we're going to straighten that right leg, scooting in the back toes a couple of inches forward, and drawing the hips towards the back of the mat, and the arms are pulling forward, and we're going to ground down that right hand inside of that right foot, gazing up to the left fingertips. Again, if the right hand doesn't reach all the way down to the mat, just put it on a block, or just lower the hand down below the knee. And engaging through both of the legs, we're going to lift up our torso, slowly moving out of the posture, and just make our way to the front of the mat, bringing the hands to the heart center, standing in mountain pose. And on the next inhale, we're going to raise both hands up to the sky, and exhale, we're going to bend from the lower back, and trying not to compress the neck, just tipping the head back slightly, standing back bend. And on the next exhale, we're going to slide the hips backwards, slowly bringing the arms forward, and then we're going to lower down the hands to the mat, forward fold, bringing the hips over the heels, breathing into the lower spine, and letting the head become nice and heavy. And on the next inhale, we're going to come into a flat back, gently placing the hands just below the knees, gazing forward, keeping the legs nice and straight, keeping the back nice and straight. And on the next exhale, we'll release, again grounding down the palms to the mat, folding over. And in your own timing, we're going to make our way down onto our hands and knees. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, gazing down to the floor, keeping a nice long line throughout the spine. We're going to do a few round of cat-cow, so we're going to inhale, dropping the belly all the way down to the mat, gazing up, and exhale, rounding the spine, tucking in the chin to the chest. And again, inhale, gazing up to the sky, dropping the belly, Exhale, rounding the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, gazing up to the sky. And exhale, chin to chest. And one more time each side. Inhale, dropping the belly. And exhale, chin to chest, rounding the spine. And then we'll slowly come back to a neutral spine. And keeping the hands right where they are, we're going to lower down our chest and chin to the mat. And pressing down the tips of the toes into the mat. And then on the next exhale, we're going to slide our legs out, slide our body out, and just relaxing on our mat, resting either side of the face on the mat. And gazing forward down to the mat, grounding down our palms just below our rib cage. We're going to inhale, come into a baby cobra, squeezing the elbows together, drawing down the shoulders away from the ears, lengthening the tailbone, gazing forward, feeling a nice opening in the chest. And then we'll slowly lower back down onto the mat. And again, we're going to gaze forward, this time coming into Sphinx pose, grounding down the forearms into the mat. Chest is nice and wide, elbows, shoulders width apart, palms facing down, spreading the fingers evenly. And keeping your shoulders nice and relaxed here, try not to tense them. And we'll slowly release. Again, resting down on the mat. And then we're going to gaze forward, keeping the arms by the side of the body. And on the next inhale, we're going to squeeze the thighs together and lift the arms and the legs off the mat, just gazing down. Keeping the arms engaged, using the leg muscles to lift the lower body. Chest is nice and wide, shoulders away from the ears. Locust pose A. And in your own timing, we're just going to slowly release, relaxing the body. And again, we're going to bring the head forward, gazing down to the mat, bringing the arms out into a T position. And we're going to interlace our fingers behind our back, again squeezing our legs together, lifting the legs off the mat, and keeping the neck nice and long here, so keeping the gaze down. And we'll slowly release, relaxing onto our mat. And in your own time, we're going to slowly make our way into a child's pose or a wide leg child's pose, rounding the spine, keeping the elbows lifted off the mat or resting the elbows onto the mat, whatever feels good for you. And grounding down through our palms, lifting our head, tucking our toes, we'll make our way into downward facing dog. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. No worries if your heels don't reach down to the mat. Keeping the knees bent if you need to. Letting the head become nice and heavy. Trying to keep the spine as long as you possibly can. And on the next inhale, we're going to walk our feet up towards our hands. Folding over. Lowering the hands down onto the mat if you can. Taking a few deep breaths. And again, we're going to come into a flat back. So just gently placing the hands below the knees, gazing forward, spine is nice and long. And again, we'll fold over, letting the head be heavy, grounding down the palms onto the mat. And keeping the head nice and heavy, we'll slowly make our way into a standing position, mountain pose. And then I'm going to bring the feet about shoulders distance apart, bringing the hands to heart center. Bending our knees, coming into a squat pose. Drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, keeping the back nice and straight, gazing forward, chest is nice and wide, and slightly pressing the elbows into the knees to open the hips. And keeping the feet flat on the ground if you can, no worries if you can't. And then we'll release, coming to sit on our mat. Bringing both legs out in front of us, coming into staff pose. Flexing the feet, toes pointing up to the sky, lengthening the spine, gazing forward, pressing down the thighs, engaging through the core. And on the next inhale, we're going to raise both arms above the head. And on the exhale, we're going to hinge from our hips, gently placing our fingertips on our toes. Keeping the spine nice and long, gazing forward, bending the knees if you need to. And we'll take a long deep inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to fold over, meeting our stomach with our thighs, letting the head be nice and heavy, letting the elbows bend out to the sides, but lifting them away from the floor. And we'll gently release, lifting the torso away from the thighs. And we're going to bend that right knee, just gently placing that right foot just outside of the left knee. And also bending the left knee, so the left heel of the foot is close to the sit bones. And we're going to ground down the right hand behind us, and we'll inhale, lifting that left hand up to the sky. And exhale, we're going to gently place that left elbow on the outside of the right knee, gazing behind us. Half Lord of the Fishes pose. And we'll slowly make our way out of the pose, extending both legs forward. Again, meeting in staff pose. And we'll inhale, raise both hands up to the sky. And again, as we exhale, hinging from the hips, touching the fingertips to the toes, keeping the spine nice and long. And we'll exhale, again meeting the stomach to the thighs, lowering the head down, keeping a bend in the knees if you need to. And we'll slowly release out of the pose, lifting the torso. And again, we're going to bend that left knee, grounding down the left foot outside of the right knee, and then bending the right knee so the heel of the foot is close to the sit bone. And the left hand comes behind us. We'll take a long deep inhale, raising the right arm up to the sky. And as we exhale, we're going to lower down that right elbow outside of the left knee, looking behind. Breathing deeply into our spine. And again, we'll slowly release, extending both legs out in front of us. And next, we're going to bring that right leg nice and wide, and we're going to bend the left knee so the heel of the left foot is just by the pelvis. And we'll lower that right arm down inside of that right foot. And then we'll inhale, raise the left hand up to the sky, gazing up to the left fingertips. And if you'd like to go deeper into the side stretch, you can bring that left arm alongside of the left ear, or touching the fingertips and toes together if this feels good for you. Keeping the right leg engaged, keeping the right toes pointing up to the sky, breathing deeply into the left side of the body. And in your own timing, we'll slowly release. This time bending the right knee, left leg comes out to the side, left toes pointing up to the sky. And again, we'll lower that left arm down inside of the left foot, right arm reaches up to the sky. And again, if you'd like to go deeper, just moving that right arm alongside of the right ear, or touching the toes if you'd like to. And then we'll slowly make our way out of that position. And coming onto our backs, keeping the knees bent so the heel of the feet are just below the sit bones. And we'll make our way into bridge pose, so we're going to ground down throughout our arms, palms facing down onto the mat, feet hips distance. And on the next inhale, we're going to lift our hips up to the sky, pressing down through all four corners of the feet, squeezing the thighs together, and drawing down the tailbone towards the back of the knees, keeping the spine nice and long. And then we'll slowly lower our hips back down onto the mat. And one more time, we'll inhale, lift the hips up to the sky. And on the next exhale, lowering the hips back down onto the mat. And then we're going to bring both knees up close to the chest, wrapping our arms around our legs, bringing in the forehead to the knees if you can, rounding the spine, giving ourselves a nice hug. And then we'll slowly release the head, keeping the knees bent in, and we're going to make our way into happy baby pose. So the soles of the feet are facing up to the sky, bending the knees into the armpits, lengthening through the spine, and drawing the tailbone down to the mat, feeling a nice opening in the hips. And then we'll slowly release from happy baby pose, and we're going to extend that left leg out to the mat, keeping the right knee bent in, and we're going to move the right knee over to the left side of the body, gazing over the right shoulder, feeling a nice twist in the lower spine. And we'll slowly release, this time extending the right leg down to the mat, bending in the left knee to the chest, and moving that left knee over to the right side, gazing over the left shoulder. And then we'll slowly release, this time relaxing both legs down onto the mat, making our way into our final Shavasana pose. Letting the whole body become nice and heavy. Closing your eyes. And bringing your focus onto the breath, trying to make each exhalation a little bit longer. Breathing deeply. And just taking a few moments to yourself to find relaxation throughout your body and throughout your mind. And now just taking a few moments to be mindful, noticing how your body feels, noticing any pain in the body, noticing any relaxation in the body, and breathing deeply into any parts of the body that might feel stressed. And really concentrating on your breath here. Notice how long your inhales are and exhales are. Feeling the air going through the nostrils and feeling the air leaving the nostrils. Feeling the chest rising and falling. And notice how your body feels as you become more and more relaxed. And as your mind starts to wander, just accept your thoughts the way that they're flowing. Don't try to control them or stop them. Just let them run through your mind. And when you do notice that they're running wild, again, just come back to your breath, letting everything be just as it is. And we'll slowly start to bring the awareness back into the body, back into the space. Making some movements in the fingertips, the toes, gently rocking the head side to side. And thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the practice. Namaste.